Hi, everyone. Michael was so good. Oh, my goodness. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole, and I'm a junior at Valley. And today, I just wanted to share a little bit of my story with you guys. So I'll start with a Bible reading. This is 2 Corinthians 12, verses 9 through 10. And it says, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong.'" So I really, really like that Bible verse, and I'll get into a little bit more about how it's had an effect on me. But to first start kind of the beginning of my story, my childhood, pretty boring. I don't really remember that much of it. I know that my family kind of just went to church on like major holidays, and we didn't really have a church home until we came to Hope in the middle of my 7th grade year. And my family absolutely fell in love with this church and the people in it. And it was just really great. We were finally like connecting and like hearing God and stuff. And so I decided to join Power Life at the beginning of 8th grade. And Power Life was good, except for I didn't really have any close friends in it. And I was kind of like searching for those close friends, but it just wasn't there. Throughout all of like elementary school and junior high, I never really had any close friends. I felt like I was always searching for like that friendship, that person to like do life with, but I just was never able to find it. And so I remember like sometimes at Power Life, like I would come early and I would just kind of like wait out in the lobby and like look down at my phone or like look around, so I'm like looking like I'm waiting for other people, but I really just like didn't have friends. It's okay. It was sad. But so I was feeling this loneliness, and I feel like you guys have probably felt that loneliness too, when you don't feel like you have anyone that you can turn to. And so I was just really lonely for a while, and so I tried Ignition in 9th grade, and that was good, except for I was still just didn't have those friendships that I was looking for, except for I did meet, or God sent this senior named Hannah Bush down to help me, and she just put me under her wing, and she let me hang out with her during breakouts, and she let me sit with her group for the message and everything. And it was so cool to have like a person that I could like turn to if I needed anything. But I was still looking for that close friendship with maybe someone like more my own age who wasn't gonna like go off to college in a few months or something like that. And so I remember one night I was just really, really feeling down and frustrated that I couldn't make friends. And I asked Hannah how she made friends at Ignition, and she pointed me to the student leadership team. And this is where everything kind of started to change in my story. So I applied for the student leadership team, and I got on it on my sophomore year, and I was really excited, but I was also really nervous because I didn't know anyone on it. And I was still like, oh, is God gonna help me with this? Like, what's gonna happen with this new team? Am I good enough? But God introduced me to so many new people, including one of my best friends, Marissa Mapes. You guys might know her, but Marissa Mapes was one of those people that like I really like admired for like a long time, but I was never like had the courage to like say anything or say hi or anything like that. But I really like wanted to be her friend, and I just didn't think I was cool enough or good enough. But God didn't really care how cool I thought I was, and He sent her into my life in the best way. And she has taught me so much about love and about Jesus, and she is one of the main people who has given me the faith that I have today. So I'm really thankful that God sent this person down to kind of cure this loneliness. But luckily, God didn't just send like this one person down. He actually gave me this whole group of people that really just supported me, and I just were those close friends that I've been longing for so long. In the summer following my sophomore year, I was able to go on the Big Stuff camp, and God put me in the group with Marissa and 3 other girls that I really, really looked up to, and it was such a good trip, and I learned that I don't have to do this alone. I don't have to do life alone. I don't have to do church alone or my relationship with God. Like, there are these people here who can support me, and God will supply these people for you too. And so that was just a really cool trip to kind of teach me how good God was. It was probably a pretty good thing that He gave me those friends, because at the beginning of this year, I went through this really long spat of depression. And I don't really know why I was depressed. Like, if you look back on it from like the outside, like things were going pretty good, I guess. Like, I had my first boyfriend. I was a squad leader for the color guard. I just got a new puppy. I was actually able to help start this prayer club at Valley, and it was going so well. So like, and I had all these close friends. So like, everything looked like it was going pretty good, but I just like developed this like self-hate for myself, and I didn't know it was wrong, but I just I hated like who I was, and I felt like I was just failing everything, and I just didn't understand. And it put me into this really bad fit of just like depression, and I just didn't know what to do. And I tried getting myself out of it. I tried just ignoring it, or maybe pretending like it wasn't there, but that didn't work. And so I actually went on the fall Ignition retreat, and I got to talk to some really close people with me, like Nick and Marissa and Grant, the Ignition intern from this fall. And they were able to just talk to me, or God was able to talk through them, and just show me that I was still loved and that he was still with me, even though I was feeling this depression and stuff around me. So I have some really good news for you guys today. I want you to please don't give up if you're feeling lonely and depressed, because none of us can escape this alone. I've tried, there's no way I could have gotten out of that loneliness by myself. There's no way I could have gotten out of that depression by myself. God was with there every step of the way. So instead of just ignoring these feelings and giving up, please hold on, keep showing up to church, open yourself up to the people around you, and open yourself up to God, because God can do so much if you just show up. If you're just here in his presence, God can just grab a hold of you. And that's the next good news. God has not forgotten about you, and he shows up in your weakness. That brings us back to the Bible verse, 2 Corinthians 12:9. It says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." So God doesn't need you to change or to overcome your loneliness and depression before you can get to him. He is right there with you in the midst of your weakness. And he will use your weakness to turn his power into just perfection. And so the passage goes on. It says, Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Sometimes this world can make us feel so weak. I know I felt weak when I didn't have any friends, or I was just so lonely or depressed. It made me feel weak, but God came in at the perfect time, and he helped me through those things, and he used my weakness to make me strong. That's why I love the end of that verse where it says, "So now I can say, for when I am weak, then I am strong," because God's right there with you. So please remember that God has not forgotten about you, no matter how you're feeling. God loves you so, so much. Please don't give up. Keep showing up to church. Keep coming to Ignition, and open up to the people around you. If you are here tonight and you don't feel like there's anyone around you who you can talk to, please come to me. I will be your friend. I promise. We'll be besties. Come talk to me after the sermon. It'll be good. But you need to find those people, and God can help you with that. And so remember that God will meet you right where you are in the middle of your promises, or in the middle of your weakness. That's what he promises. So thank you so much for letting me share my story with you guys, and remember that God loves you so, so much.